crazy stuff, y'all. I mean, I did some illegal stuff to try to get pregnant. Like, hi everyone, assalamu alaikum to the Muslims. I am back for another video today. This is kind of a hard topic, but I definitely wanted to just have this on my page to help somebody. I'm trying so hard to look at the camera, y'all. So it's really early in the morning and I want you guys to get some tea, some coffee, whatever you drink. Also tea or coffee because I'm a tea girl. So yeah, and if this is your first video, my name is Anissa. Make sure you subscribe and like and comment for this video. We're heading to a 1 year on our channel. I hit my goal of 35 videos, which was very difficult. I give mad props to all the YouTubers out there, and now it's time for us to grow and, you know, spread our wings. And so make sure you follow, subscribe, go to the comment description box and follow me everywhere. We're the Bash Family _ on TikTok. We have 15,000 family members on there, and then we are the Bash Family as well on Instagram, and then I also have an Instagram, Anissa Rose TV, as well. Yeah, I'm on Pinterest now as well, Anissa Rose _ So yeah, I think eventually everything will be like a family channel, but when I made this account, it was all about me. And so as of right now, I have 2 names for everything. So there's my little intro, and hopefully this video helps you, inspires you, or helps you understand someone that might be going through this. So this is my infertility story. Brace yourself, and trigger warning for some things. I will be adding some pictures and videos and things like that. I did keep documentation. I was taking a video diary, so I have some clips that are a bit emotional, so just trigger warning. Hopefully I don't cry. I try to put myself together a little bit for you guys, so I'm not crazy and I don't look all crazy and I won't cry, you know. But I'll get right into it. So I found out I had PCOS in 2018 after I got married. I got married in May, so it was the summer. I finally went to the OGBYN after I got married, and you know, I was telling them like, yeah, you know, sometimes I don't get my period for months, and they're like, you know, that's not normal. Also, I had extreme weight gain, and I was telling them my diet. I was like, yeah, you know, I'm plant-based, and I've been plant-based for years now, and I don't really eat junk, and I don't know why, like, weight just sticks with me, but I am not really that active, so maybe that's why. But then when I become active, I gain more weight. And they were like, yeah, these are signs of PCOS. Let's get you tested. And they were like, okay, you have PCOS. And I Googled it, and I was like, all I saw was infertility and all of this stuff. And I just got overwhelmed. They didn't give me anything. They didn't tell me anything. They just told me that's what I have. And, you know, that was it. So I just started doing a lot of research, and I started stressing out about it because when I got married, I wanted to have a child right away. And so I immediately just start pressuring them for testing, like testing for infertility. And they were like, oh, we can't really do anything until you're trying for over a year with no, you know, no results. So just keep trying and everything will be okay. But they would give me some pills to kind of induce my period. It started with a P. If I can remember the names of anything, I'll put it below, but I'm really bad with medicines. But it started with a P, and it just strips your lining. So I actually took that, and it worked. And then I got my period, immediately started trying, nothing. So after like 6 months of nothing, I also stopped getting my period again. And at this time, for some reason, I actually started bloating really bad. it seemed like as soon as I knew there was a problem, like I started to actually notice a whole bunch of things about me. And so it made me just like go in again. And I had a really bad experience with a hospital. They wanted me to come in for an internal ultrasound. And I went in the first time, everything was fine. But the doctor was pretty mean to me. She was like, oh, it's because you're overweight. That's what's wrong with you. You need weight loss surgery. I was like, ma'am, what? And so it was just how she said it and just like dismissed me. And then I came in for another ultrasound because the findings were inconclusive. They couldn't really see anything. They didn't know if I had fibroids or something, but there was like blockages. And so, of course, I was so scared. I went back in and I was telling the lady, like, you know, this is, the other lady let me do it. And this lady was the same lady who gave me like all that talking last time. And she was just like hurting me. And I was like, can you stop, please? And she didn't. You guys, I had to report this doctor. And I could no longer be seen at that hospital anymore. I was extremely traumatized, actually. And yeah, so not only just going through infertility, like I was just like really traumatized, but the findings were inconclusive again, but they said there was something going on. So I'm fully depressed, you know, at this point. Like I'm fully depressed. I said I wasn't gonna cry. Oh my gosh. I just was kind of remembering like I was so traumatized from that experience, and then like thinking like I'm never gonna be a mom, I'm never gonna have kids. I was just so depressed. And at that time I didn't open up to anyone. I didn't tell anyone. Not even my husband. So it was like 6-7 months that like no one knew that I was going through this. I eventually found a doctor, and I looked for a Muslim doctor, actually. She wasn't Muslim, I don't think, but she was of Arab descent, or Indian descent, whatever. But her name was like an Islamic name. That's why I picked her. And she was the sweetest lady ever. And it really, like everything started to move and progress. My phone cut off, but I was saying she put me on metformin and magnesium, which definitely helped me. So yeah, so that progressed everything. So to move along, after that I was like actually passing out with the metformin and magnesium. Not for the magnesium, but I had a bad reaction to metformin. And so we wanted to do some testing. Like she did testing on my husband, testing on my tubes. That was really crazy. They put dye. They put a catheter in and they put dye to see if your tubes are open. I can do a whole separate story on my experience with that because that's called hydropingogram or something like that. I can do a story on that experience because I know some women have to do that. My tubes were open, but there was like some complications while I was getting that done, and it was pretty painful. And at that time I actually started opening up to a few of my friends, which later I will kind of talk about. Like, you know, this is why I decided to be a content creator, because people really treated me horrible, and I really do think that infertility and PCOS is something that should be talked about, and people should have support and supportive people that they can go to. It may not be your friends. So yeah, I started to do testing. Nothing was wrong with my husband. Nothing was wrong with my tubes. And also simultaneously at this time, I started doing some crazy stuff, y'all. I mean, I did some illegal stuff to try to get pregnant. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I brought illegal drugs. Like, I was really desperate to have a kid at this time. Yeah. And I also went to this Muslim person, and I was just like, is there something spiritually wrong with me? Because I kind of scared my husband, because at this time as well I was having like really bad nightmares, night terrors. I I was like having like spasms in my sleep. I was just like really going through it. And so yeah, my husband contacted someone and like had to like pray over me. Y'all, it's like pour water on me. It sounds crazy, but like if you're Muslim, you kind of know what I'm talking about. And they were like, no one did any black magic on you, and you're not like, nothing's wrong spiritually. And like, you know, when my husband was reciting Quran, I was like, I don't know, I started feeling a little dizzy because I was like wondering if my head was gonna start spinning around, and like I had something like literally wrong with me because I was heavy bleeding, huge clots, you know, like I said, trigger warning, like huge clots. They were like this big, and it just started out of nowhere. It started right after I got married, y'all, and so it was just like, it was a lot. But the Muslim, he was an imam. He did tell us to drink this drink. I'm not sure I'm gonna give you guys the ingredients or show what he told me, but I was just saying do your own research. But it wasn't anything crazy. It had watermelon, it had beets, or radish. Radish is what you should use. I think I used beets when I didn't have radish. And you blend it up. There was some recitation involved, but let me tell you something. Up to this point, I kept getting inconclusive findings with my ultrasounds. Every time I would drink the drink, my period would start. And I do think radish helps filter out your blood or something like that. I did some research on it, so that might be the reason why that worked. And they end up finding that I had polyps on my cervix, and I had to have surgery. And like I had so many internal ultrasounds up to this point with no findings, and it was like right after I did all of that like, spiritual stuff that they found these polyps. So I had my surgery. They put me to sleep, you guys. Oh my goodness. They tried so many times to get my veins, like five times on this hand, five times or more on this one. They could not, and they did it one time in my neck. They couldn't do it. There were so many people around me. My doctor, the same doctor that had helped me thus far, was the one who was performing the surgery, and she was like ready, like getting me prepped, and they're like, ma'am, like she's still like conscious. And they had to wheel me into this room, ultrasound on my neck vein, and they got my neck again, and I just felt like heat, and I was out. But that was literally crazy. Like I always have problems. During my surgery, my doctor found that I had a miscarriage, and as much as that should have traumatized me, I was so happy that I was able to conceive. But also I knew something was going on, and like I couldn't pinpoint it, you know. I didn't know what it was like to be pregnant, and when you're infertile, you think everything is a pregnancy symptom. So yeah, so after my polyps were removed and my DNC, I kind of felt like my uterus had a fresh start, and I went vegan and I started becoming extremely healthy. But the veganism kind of flared up my PCOS, and that was it. I was still trying and nothing was happening. I had 2 chemical pregnancies. I learned to pray particular prayers because I remember I was like, God, just let me see a positive pregnancy test. And like, yeah, I had a positive pregnancy test, but no baby. so yeah, I started to really, really pray, to focus on my being. And we ended up moving. And this was my turning point. When I moved here, I just was better mentally. And I kind of want to double back on what I was saying about friends. So I was surrounded by people, whether or not they knew it, they were so harmful to me. So harmful to me when it came to my infertility. Like, opening up about something like this and having the reactions that I had, I kid you not, like, I really genuinely pray for justice for that. Like, I felt so dehumanized, so belittled, and so betrayed. And I just, like, sucked it up and, like, was still smiling and everything. But it wasn't until I moved here, like no one knew what I was going through. No one knew anything. I just decided, like, after, like, I felt betrayed by my sisters, you know, I decided to never talk about it again. And I came out on Eid. So I was here for like a while, and then I came out for Eid. And I met this girl. She is so amazing. Her name's Khadijah. And I remember just talking to her, and then I don't want to get emotional, but she was just like, looked me in my eye and didn't know that I was going through so much. She was like, oh, I pray that you have a child. And it was so crazy because, like, imagine like you have friends that you know for so long, or people who know you genuinely and know you want to have a child, and they never could just pray for you to have a child. It was more like, oh, like, so you're infertile, so you're never gonna have a child. You're gonna have to adopt. You're gonna have like IVF. Like, they would put all these like things in my head, but this person who didn't know me just made a dua for me, and I think I needed that dua so much, because I was so at peace after she said that. I felt so good, and I decided to start recording, and that's when I started recording my YouTube channel for you all. I was just like, no, because I want to be like that, like someone who was just so positive in a time I was just surrounded in darkness. And a few months later, I found out I was pregnant. So the only thing that had changed, like, I wasn't really monitoring or anything like that, my mental stability. And also, I just felt so loved here. I felt a different type of love and a different type of support. And yeah, so I had lost 60 pounds, which I do believe helped. I went on an anti-inflammatory diet. I did a little bit of keto. I would say I called it keto, but I really didn't do keto correctly because I wasn't really eating a lot of cheese and stuff. But anti-inflammatory diet, lost 60 pounds. I had support and love. I was on point with my prayers, with my fastings, with everything. I felt extremely close to God. I was waking up in the middle of the night praying, thanking God. But I really did feel the love and the support and the warmth from these people here, from, I call them my nieces, me and my husband as well. Like, he was definitely like a rock with me. And yeah, that's my infertility story. I know it's a little long, but I will say this: you never know what someone's going through. When people get married, a lot of times they want to have kids, and a lot of things can be going wrong with them. I had an extreme hormone imbalance. I will say that, and I think it was induced by stress and food. Some foods that you think are healthy or are good for you sometimes aren't. And also, be very careful who you open up to. I don't really blame a lot of the girls. It's just the reason why I decided to get on social media and kind of like show this side of infertility is because people have so much ignorance regarding infertility. This is something that is literally so hard for a lot of women to go through, because we feel like our bodies are failing us, and we're failing our husbands, we're failing our families. You'll have people like, when are you gonna have kids? When are you gonna have kids? You know, and you're going through a miscarriage. I miscarried at work, and the people who knew about it, no one came to bring me flowers. No one came to give me a hug. No one came to say, you know, I'm so sorry that happened. And it's like, now I have people that if I were to tell them that something like that happened, they would surround me with so much love and prayers and duas. And I'm someone that when someone's going through infertility, they call me, and like, I love that. And I can stay up all day long, all night, like supporting you, because I didn't have that, you know. And then I had a few of my friends that I'm still friends with now, that were extremely supportive, but they really didn't understand why I wanted a baby so bad. They felt like, oh, you're so young, and like, you know, but they were loving, and I'm just, you know, honorable mention to them. They were definitely the real ones and definitely called me and talked to me, but I just didn't feel that embrace and love while I was there. And so yeah, so try your hardest not to ask people when they're gonna have babies and pressure people. You never know what someone's going through, and I'll leave you all with this, you know, Allah is the best of planners, and we plan and he plans. I would do it all again. Wallahi, I would do it all again the same exact way, because I know that I'm the mother that I was supposed to be through that trial. And in my Islamic studies yesterday, it says that the person was saying that Allah puts us through things for us to have that testament, for us to have that light out of the end of the tunnel that will allow us to get closer to him. And I truly believe that. It's kind of like being scraped so you're shiny, and you know, to purify you and to clean you, you do go through those trials. And I never felt as close to Allah as I did while going through that trial. And even now, like, we're ready for baby number 2. I have that in the back of my mind that God is in control, and he's in control of everything that's around me, and it brings me true peace, true subsistence of peace. Like, you know, I can't even talk anymore. I'm so exhausted. It's also extremely early in the morning. It's the only time I could do this with Papa. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hopefully this helped you. And if someone you know is going through this, make sure you send this to them. And assalamu alaikum to the Muslims, and peace and love to everyone. Bye.